Okay, everyone, today we are watching a film called Chemistry of Marijuana. I'll say it again, Chemistry of Marijuana. This is going to be a good one, I think. 1966 scientific research film effects of THC on human subjects. So yeah, we're going to be seeing people being tested for the effects of THC. This should be very funny. I don't want to give too much away, but I will tell you all that I am a little familiar with the effects of THC, so it'll be funny to witness how people were affected by it back then in these films compared to how I understand it to feel nowadays. So this should be interesting. This should be a funny one, I really hope. Fingers crossed we're laughing throughout, all right? Who made this? Hang on, before we get started, who made this? Stanford University, National Institute for Mental Health. Interesting. All right, Chemistry of Marijuana. Let's dive in. Can you guys tell me if the video is demonetized or not? I don't know if this will be demonetized, but you guys will know already. So please let me know. Were all my efforts in watching this for nothing, or do I get to make a penny off of this? Let's see. Wow, some very, very patriotic music to start. This is like, I feel like I'm watching a movie or something.
Do you think it would be any time?
Okay, all right. So that was weird intro music. Nothing was showing, and now we are. It looks like we're diving right into this. There's no intro or anything, so let's get into it, right?
Do you think it would be any time at all? Do you feel called any time of the day or night?
The plain fact is.
Okay, yeah, I think that guy is already suffering from the effects of THC. I think that was a cold open on the cold hard truth of the effects of THC there. That seemed like we were witnessing somebody in another state of mind is all I gotta say.
Is that
Oh, hang on. So this is the doctor. This is interesting already. Dr. Leo E. Holster with 3 L's. Dr. Leo E. Holster with 3 L's, Associate Chief of Staff at the Palo Alto Veterans Hospital. Oh, I thought that was veterinarian. Veterans Hospital. All right, that makes more sense. So are we experimenting with marijuana on veterans? Is that like an added like aspect of this experiment? Maybe. Maybe we're treating, what year is this? Oh, I didn't say what year it was. 1966. I did say what year it was. So this was, yeah, pretty much 1966. Just about when the Vietnam War is starting. So I don't think anyone's having PTSD from Vietnam quite yet. I could be wrong about that, but I think this is at the beginning of the Vietnam conflict. But people might still have PTSD from World War I, II, and the Korean War. So I can understand why we'd be looking into marijuana for maybe helping people with those sorts of, problems. I wonder why. I wonder why we're doing this.
the plain fact is that none of us know very much about this drug in any.
The plain fact is none of us know very much about this drug. That's so funny because I don't think we could say the same thing nowadays.
Verifiable way, and I think that the studies that are beginning to open up now that interest has been aroused in the drug.
That's interesting too. Now that interest has been aroused in this drug, I wonder what he means by that. Where's that interest coming from? Why is there this palpable sense that there's more interest in marijuana circa 1966? I feel like I just answered it by saying the date. I guess the 60s, there was a lot of palpable interest in that sort of stuff in the 60s. But I wonder where exactly this United States military observed interest in marijuana is coming from. Like, where are they seeing interest in marijuana coming from? I don't know. I really don't know.
And this pure material is available will do a lot to settle the dispute as to how safe or how dangerous the drug may be.
All right, so hang on. So is that the thesis right there? They're trying to determine how safe or dangerous the drug is, and these are the tests determining whether or not marijuana is safe or dangerous. That's, again, being familiar with the effects of THC on human subjects. I can pretty much vouch that it's not dangerous at all. Like, there is, to my knowledge, there is real no danger besides, like, damaging your teeth and your lungs and stuff. Like, obviously, smoking anything has negative health impacts, but I don't really know of any negative drug-related impacts of marijuana. So I would love to hear some, though. I would love to actually hear cold hard facts about like the dangers of marijuana as well. That'd be interesting if like I learned that we have kind of just glazed over the negatives as well. Either way, I would like to hear what this guy has to say.
This is Veterans Hospital in Palo Alto, California.
Veterans Hospital, Palo Alto, California. Interesting. So yeah, we're in California again. I feel like we've been in Palo Alto so many times in these old films. That's like, that and like Fresno, California are like the places that you always see in these old films.
Dr. Leo Hollister is engaged in one of America's few scientific studies of marijuana and its effect on human beings.
That's so funny. One of the few studies. So I feel like a large amount of what we know about marijuana, or what we, presume about marijuana, might come from like this guy and this guy's studies. Like if he finds it to be dangerous, that might be why it's still illegal to this day. Like this guy might have actually had an outsized impact on our regulation of marijuana. That's interesting.
One volunteer subject is Bill Mahler.
Bill Mahler? That's so funny. This guy looks familiar. Who does he look like? Oh my God. He almost looks like... This is not who I immediately thought of, but he looks like the young Sheldon kid all grown up. Oh, he looks like one of the kids from like Stand By Me. Oh, right? Like he looks like the Stand By Me kid, but a little older. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about.
3, unmarried, a graduate student at Stanford.
He's a graduate student. He looks very young, to be honest.
The drug is called tetrahydrocannabinol.
Tetrahydrocannabinol. Interesting. That's THC.
THC for short. THC is the active chemical in marijuana. It was isolated for the first time just last year.
Just last year? That's crazy. So yeah, they just isolated THC. See, here's the thing though, like if you're isolating a specific chemical, then you already have to be aware that it's causing that, right? Like you have to do the research to test every different chemical found in marijuana to figure out, oh, it's this chemical that's causing us to have this sensation, not, all these other chemicals. So to even get to this point, they must have done a huge amount of experimentation on marijuana. So what this is telling us is we're kind of like jumping into the middle of this discussion pretty much. It seems like we already have figured some stuff out, but I guess we've only had 1 year with distilled THC, so maybe we're still experimenting with it. But can we get some of these vials, like the pure THC vial? Like I am curious about that. Like what if you get that on your skin? I feel like you would feel something by getting it on your skin. Maybe not, but I feel like it's gotta, I don't know. I feel like, what happens if you get pure THC on your skin? Can anyone watching tell us? There have to be some people who can only watch an hour of me watching old films by partaking in the chemistry of marijuana. So anyone watching who is overly familiar with this, what happens if I get pure THC on my skin? Do I feel any effects or no?
These are among the first experiments on human beings with the pure substance. THC is...
See, what's so funny too is like the pure substance. You heard that quote, right? And like, yes, you're making it more dangerous by making it pure like that. Like marijuana in its normal, natural form as a flower is nowhere near as like scary or harmful or potentially dangerous as pure extracted distilled THC. Like those aren't quite the same drug anymore. Like smoking marijuana and consuming pure THC, I don't think those are quite equivalent, but I think they are looking more to understand the effects of THC than they are to really see if marijuana itself is dangerous or not. They really want to know if this chemical can do any harm to you whatsoever. Like if it can't harm you in its purest form, then it must be safe, right? So I guess I understand why they're purifying it like this. I don't feel like you can compare pure THC to marijuana. But maybe you can. Maybe it's perfectly comparable and I'm too inexperienced. Maybe. I don't know. I gotta get me some of this. Can anyone mail some of this to me? I gotta try it out. The pure. I want the vials. I want the pure vial that he has. I need to test it.
It's not readily available or easy to produce. Dr. Hollister's limited supply comes from the National Institutes of Mental Health.
I feel like I should also specify, while watching these, am never on any substance. I am pure stone cold sober for all of my viewings of these. You guys never have to worry. I wouldn't be able to do this if I was experiencing the chemistry of marijuana. So I'm stone cold sober right now.
Health, which finances his research. The dose
It's also like 7 in the morning, so it's a little early no matter what.
is the equivalent of about 3 marijuana cigarettes.
3 marijuana cigarettes. That's that's so funny that they're pouring him a concoction of pure THC to be the equivalent of 3 marijuana cigarettes, or I'm gonna call them joints because I'm cool like that, I guess. I just can't call them marijuana cigarettes. The 3 joints that they're giving this guy, that would have anyone on a hospital bed, to be honest. 3 full ass joints. I don't know, like pure THC too. I don't know. Like I very much relate with this guy in his bed right now. Dude, what the most perfect grad student job ever, too, by the way. Like, all you have to do, like, every day in grad school is just receive different doses of THC and report on your experience. Like, this kid got the best college experience probably out of anyone. Like, credits to the max for this this course. Like, oh my god. I can't imagine, like, being the one grad student who, like, got this position. Like, yeah, good for this kid. He looks so chill too. Like I know obviously he's chill, right? But like you can just tell he's chilling.
Well, Bill, we're ready to go. Now, this is your dose of today's drug.
Dose of today's drug. You hear him? Like they are giving him these doses or these chemicals daily. You know, like he is being fed this stuff constantly, which is funny because you do build up a tolerance. So I bet he is starting to kind of wane or wear off the immediate effects of THC pretty quick. And I love that they give him like a cocktail. What is this drink? Oh my god, can somebody I want to know what's in this drink so bad. What does it taste like? Like obviously I know one ingredient, but are they making it like, are they adding syrup or like anything, or is it just like what does pure THC even taste like? Like I am picturing like weed. Like I know the smell of marijuana, but I've never like tasted that. But I wonder, I don't know. I like, what is he just drinking THC, or are they making him like a smoothie or something? You know, like how is he even consuming this drug? I want to know it all. This is a fun one. I'm having fun with this. Even if you guys aren't, I'm having a lot of fun.
There have been virtually no scientifically controlled experiments like this for nearly 30 years.
Should this have been a red? No, I think because it's marijuana, this is a green.
Now, with the newly isolated chemical.
Dude, this guy looks stoned just drinking this drink. Like, tell me if I'm wrong, but he is struggling with this drink, or he's taking his time at the very least. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still feeling the batch from yesterday.
Dr. Hollister hopes to define more precisely what marijuana does.
Dude, this guy's so stoned already. Like, I know he's just being fed the THC, but nobody drinks like this.
You probably noticed it has a...
Dude, look at his eyes. Look at it. Oh my god, this guy is so stoned already. I don't know, maybe he did that before he got to the lab, but I don't know. He's stoned already.
mildly alcoholic flavor. That's something we can't avoid because the drug has to be dissolved in.
That's so funny. They actually are commenting on like the flavor of the drink. So they used some sort of alcohol. That's even more funny. So I guess I'm familiar with weed enough to know that to get the THC out of it, you have to have a solvent of some kind. And really the only edible kind of solvents that we have is alcohol. So to get the THC out of the weed, you need alcohol as well. So it seems like they're suggesting he's drinking pure THC in a solvent of probably pure alcohol, which might have some effects on this study. If he's also taking like a shot of pure alcohol with 3 joints worth of THC. This is a crazy experiment, to be honest. But I'm glad that like I know that this concoction that he's drinking is probably like the worst tasting thing in the world, right? It's just like pure alcohol. It probably sucks to drink. Even if it's fun, it probably sucks to actually get down. I'm so glad I at least know that it's probably a nasty drink.
Alcohol.
But maybe that's why he's drinking it so weird. Dude, yeah, he made sure he got every last drop of that concoction too. Like he tilted it all the way up. He wanted it.
There's been a great deal of experience with marijuana in the past because this drug has been used for...
His little smile to himself as he said there's been a great deal of experience with marijuana in the past. Like, it seems like this guy used to smoke marijuana as well. But he also is like the square, right? Like, he's the science guy trying to figure out for the United States military probably like the effects of THC. So this guy is like the definition of the square probably. But it seems like that little smile that he gave, that was a knowing little smile, that's all I gotta say.
Several thousand years by hundreds of millions of people. There has been some research done with it.
See, that statement there, like, pretty much tells me all I need to know, right? Like, hundreds of thousands of people over thousands of years, hundreds of millions of people over thousands of years. Like, if nobody ever found any health effects over that time, I don't know if there really are going to be any.
As well. But most of this is fairly old. That is, if you look in the literature, most of it was done in the 40s, and then there's a great...
That's so funny that he called research done in the 40s really old. You know, like, I am more far removed from this guy than he is removed from the research that he's quoting, and yet he is calling that super old, you know?
Gap. Since that time, the problem, of course, has become much greater in terms of the social use of the drug in this country.
Oh, interesting. So since the 40s, the social problem of people using marijuana has gotten worse. Again, when you understand that certain people use marijuana to, not cure, but help with, PTSD and these sorts of things, and you wonder why its usage increased drastically immediately after the 40s, there seems to be two things lining up that always seem to line up on this channel, and that's World War II and incredible societal change, right? So I don't want to say that the increased use of marijuana at this time was a result of, trauma from World War II. But honestly, if I fought and suffered in World War II, I would also want to have a relaxed life afterwards.
And it's also now possible to do this in a systematic fashion by taking advantage of the availability of the pure substance.
So what he's saying is that now that they have the pure substance, they can finally get to like the true science of this chemical, is we can actually experiment with no other factors besides the controlled variable and, whatever else that they're experimenting. So that is interesting that this is the very beginning of experimenting with the chemistry of marijuana. I guess there's the title for you, because we had just figured out how to purify it, how to get pure THC. All right, this guy's 55 minutes into his 3 joints and a shot of alcohol, and he is knocked. He is fully asleep. That is so funny. I can't even describe why this is so funny. He's just knocked. He's perfectly asleep. He's not like having a fun time. I love how they're not showing him anything. Like, if I were to be doing this, I would like want the TV on or something to like engage my brain. Maybe that's maybe that's part of the failure of these experiments, is that giving people THC and then having them do nothing will result in probably pretty much nothing. But if you give them THC and then you like have them solve a puzzle or something, you'll get different results. It's just so funny that this guy is completely knocked out asleep. Like that's how much THC they gave him, Like, this will happen if you eat like your entire pack of gummies. You'll be passed out like this guy too. That's pretty much what it's telling me, is like this guy had so much THC in his system that he had to go to sleep. Which I know that feeling a little bit.
Phil, how do you feel now?
Very great.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Is it a nice sensation?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love that. It is so funny. I love that he's not acting at all either. He is just literally high off his ass right now, and maybe a little drunk.
Really?
Some weird patterns and stuff.
Weird patterns. See, I don't know. I feel like half of this might be placebo effect at the same time, because there are no hallucinations that come along with marijuana, and at least according to me. Maybe somebody else in the comments can correct me on that, but I don't think you're gonna see any weird patterns or anything.
You know, when I
Does your
close my
mind
eyes.
keep wandering?
No, it doesn't wander.
He is totally stoned though. Like just the way he's responding, like this is if any actor never wants to touch marijuana but wants to understand what it's like to be on marijuana, this is like the perfect way to understand that.
Why is it getting so hot in here with these lights, you know?
Why is it getting so hot in here with these lights on? Like this guy is stoned. That's so funny.
So I just started thinking that I was cold, and now I'm cold.
Now you're cold.
Yeah.
This guy's face, even the way they angled like the camera on his face, his chin looks like ginormous. Like this is hilarious is what this is. I am getting what I wanted. We're also only 3.5 minutes into this, and this is like a 20-minute long documentary. So this is gonna take us a while to get through. Let's listen to what he has to say. I keep stopping. It's too funny.
Like I imagined I was walking through snow.
Hang on, so the last shot was 55 minutes in. This is an hour in. So is this like 5 minutes later?
And the rest of my body was all hot because I had all kinds of heavy clothes on. But my feet were cold because I didn't have any boots on. And then gradually, you know, I started getting colder on my legs. And it just kind of moved up my body until finally I was cold.
That's so funny. Again, that's just like the most boring description of something happening to a person ever. Like, oh, my arms and legs were warm, but my feet were cold, and then that made me cold, you know? But what's so funny is to imagine like a scientist writing all this down. Like, oh my God, his feet were cold and then his body was cold. Is that the effect of THC? Like, is that what THC does to a person? It makes your feet cold, you know? Like, just the amount of analysis put towards his words just in that moment is just really funny to me. That his experience had to be analyzed from a scientific perspective for us to understand the effects of THC. It's funny, man.
We want to have an idea of how you feel.
An hour and 10 minutes. All right, so this has to be just 10 minutes after what we just saw, right?
Now as compared to the way you felt before you had the drug.
This woman's hair, this is completely unrelated, but I love this woman's hair. This is like a Marge Simpson hair.
Happy.
Happy. I just think even the way he says it, like happy, like I don't know. This is stoner core for sure.
Yeah.
His whisper of happy to himself, and then him saying, yeah, you know, like he's still feeling the effects is all I can say.
You feel very happy.
Yeah, we moved out there. Elated? Yeah, that's
Feel
right.
very elated.
Elated. Oh man, just listen to it. I'm gonna try to not interrupt him, just so that you can hear his like little internal thoughts that he's mumbling.
Shaky.
As opposed to steady. Do you
Right.
think you feel
Shaky, and he can't figure out if he feels shaky as opposed to steady. This is so funny. Oh my gosh.
shaky?
But that's interesting too, right? Like that's on the questionnaire for him. Did you feel shaky or did you feel steady? You know, like how shaky did you feel? That's interesting that that's even a symptom that they're looking for. That does reveal something that you wouldn't immediately see.
More shaky than you do steady?
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to make you shaky. It's not like you're not going to be trembling or anything from smoking marijuana. So, or drinking THC, I guess. But either way, yeah, I don't think you're going to be made to feel shaky.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of bouncing up and down on the bed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I am or not, really. But it feels that way.
I love that. He feels like he's bouncing on a bed. I guess that is feeling shaky to an extent. That's so funny, though. I love his description of it as well.
A respiratory machine designed especially for these experiments is so sensitive that it can measure the effect of 2 cups of coffee.
hang on. So now he's being hooked up to a respiratory machine, so sensitive that it can pick up on the effects of 2 cups of coffee. But I'm curious, what does it mean by that? Like, is it going to smell the coffee? It's going to say he consumed coffee, or is it going to be like his breathing rate, his heart rate is accelerated? I don't know what this machine really does.
Now, if you'll just put this in between your teeth and your...
Imagine taking like 3 joints worth of THC and then being hooked up to a machine like this. Like, good on this guy for not freaking the heck out. Like, the thing that they attached to his nose, like the nose inflatable plugs, this is... I would not like to do this. This is starting to look like not a fun grad student term.
The machine can determine whether a drug stimulates or depresses the human respiratory system.
That's interesting. So that's what they're trying to figure out. They're trying to figure out if his breathing rate, and by extension probably if his heart rate, is elevated or depressed as a result of consuming THC, which honestly feels like you could just use a stethoscope for. I don't know if you need this whole complex machine just to tell us what his heart rate is. If his heart rate is faster or slower than when he wasn't on drugs. I feel like there's a much easier way to figure this out.
In short, does the drug in marijuana cause faster breathing and intake of more air?
Well, again, this also depends on if you smoked or if you just drank your THC. Because if you smoke, then you're going to need to breathe and refill your lungs with air. So I don't know. I feel like separating the drug from the substance kind of creates dissonance in your experiments, right? Like if you're looking for breathing rates or changes in breathing rates, that might change more of a result of smoking than actually ingesting THC. So I don't know. I guess they're trying to eliminate all of those variables by having him just drink it and then hooking him up to these machines. I feel like you're going to get different results based on your different ways of consuming the drug.
The test was given to Bill Mahler every hour. To measure the psychological effects, he was given a series of...
Dude, he looks like Nile Red. That's who he looks like. Oh, yes, finally, I figured it out. He totally looks like Nile Red here.
cards and told to pick out a description of his own feelings.
I could goose up there, but...
The effect of the drug was increasing.
That's so funny. So he's like an hour and 20 minutes in, and he's still on the up. Like, I wonder if they gave him any food to eat when he took that shot.
Daring.
I love, oh man, his facial expression, like him trying to decide if that expression fits with how he's feeling. And I don't know, his acting here. I know he's not acting, or at least I hope he's not acting, but his expressions truly are giving insight into his state of mind here. And that's, and I really much appreciate that.
Hold on. Consider it.
That's funny. He really is like struggling to think about these responses, which is interesting. I wonder, I wish I could be in his state of mind and just like understand what he's experiencing.
Quite a bit. Boastful.
I mean, I guess I can be in his state of mind, but not his exact state of mind. I need that concoction. Whatever he drank, I need to drink one as well to be on the same level.
Quite a bit. Defiant? Not at all.
That's so funny that they included defiant, and he picked up on that and said not at all, because I feel like that's what a lot of people said, is like, you're gonna start doing drugs and that's like a defiant act and it's only going to snowball from there. But if you know anything about the chemistry of marijuana, you know that defiance is not really a symptom of THC.
Fatigued? Not at all.
All right, well, ask him about fatigue in like 2 or 3 more hours once it's worn off, because let me tell you, after the edible wears off, you definitely want to go to sleep.
Unhappy? Not at all.
Hear that? Okay, that is like the most important thing right there. Did THC make him unhappy? He said not at all. That is the effect of THC on you right there. It's like he is having a good time.
Business-like? Not at all.
Business-like? That's so funny that they're even asking him about that. Do you feel business-like at this moment on THC? Not at all. Good. He had the perfect response for it as well.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. Good for him. Sheesh.
Friendly. Extreme.
Yeah, that's funny. He's under his breath. He said extremely friendly. He's feeling, which is funny. It's funny that he's sort of bashful for how friendly he's feeling, which again, sort of in line with the effects of THC. Not only are we getting to see the effects of THC on him as he's giving these responses, but we're also getting to hear what they were looking for in his change of mind or change of, mind space, I guess. Yeah. So every question that he's being asked tells us that that is what the scientists are wondering about, right? Like every single emotion that they're asking him about is what they want to know how THC affects. Does THC make you happy or business-like? What are the effects of THC? That's we're getting to see what the scientists even wanted to know from these experiments through the questions that he's asking and letting us hear.
Extreme. Grouchy.
Grouchy, yeah, nah. Even his response is like, nah, not grouchy. Not at all grouchy. That's so funny. I mean, I could have guessed that. I feel like the scientists already knew that, but like, yeah, you're not gonna feel grouchy after after drinking a shot of THC.
Sleepy. Oh.
That's so funny. Yeah, he really had to think about the sleepy. So that's like, again, that is like the perfect symptom of marijuana or THC, right? It's just like being sleepy or like lethargic, like that is, he is perfectly describing the stereotypical understanding of the effects of THC right now. This might be where those stereotypical effects even come from. This might be the beginning of the popularization of those specific effects.
Sad? Not at all. Bossy? Not at all. Tired?
That's so funny and so interesting at the same time that they're asking him questions in kind of the same way, right? They asked him if he was feeling sleepy, which he kind of did, kind of didn't. And now they're asking him if he feels tired, which to me is the same exact thing. And they asked him earlier if he felt fatigued, and I feel like they even asked him something else even earlier than that. But it's interesting that they're circling back to the same few ideas, just in different words. Like, yes, THC definitely makes you more comfortable sitting down than it does doing something. But I don't know if they're really figuring that out for the first time here or not.
Oh, no.
A little. I love that. I love his little whisper to himself. Yeah, I'm a little tired now. Like that. That's so beautifully honest. It's like, it's innocence, honestly. Like that's what I'm seeing in him right now. It's like, there's so much innocence in all his responses.
Since that's where I put sleepy, so it should be the same place.
See, even he's picking up on it. Even he's saying, well, I put sleepy over here, so I should put tired in the same place. That's so funny.
They are synonyms.
He's even using his vocabulary. He's calling them synonyms. That's funny. That's funny that I commented on it, and now he's commenting on it as well. I promise I'm sober.
Ridiculous.
This is what I would be doing if I were not sober right now. Like, this is how I'd be watching this video. I would just like, I would not be providing very good commentary, I guess. Which is why I don't do it, is because you can't concentrate.
It is possible that it could be a safe drug if used in moderation, such as many millions of people in this country believe it can be done with alcohol. Or that
Again, that's already very interesting that he's suggesting that it can be used safely in the right ways, just like how people use alcohol. So already we're hearing the argument that still rings true today is like, if alcohol is legal, why isn't marijuana? Marijuana does not have nearly as negative health impacts as alcohol does even. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting that they already recognize marijuana as not like a horrible, dangerous drug. Like, he's admitting that it's pretty much just as fine as alcohol is. And if people do alcohol, then they can do marijuana, I guess.
It can be a dangerous and crippling drug, as several million alcoholics in this country know.
I guess that's also fair, is that like, if it's like alcohol and alcohol does create alcoholics, then maybe we will create the same problem for ourselves with marijuana, and we'll create a whole bunch of stoners, which is fair, but I feel like alcohol is just different. I feel like alcohol just takes control in a different way than marijuana does.
These factors need to be explored to determine.
But that's interesting. That's interesting how that seems to be their worry right now, right? That they're worried that if they give the go-ahead for people to begin using marijuana, that they will create a portion of society that is dependent on marijuana. So I guess I do understand the conservatism here.
Determine whether or not it truly is safe, and if so, in what manner of use.
If it's safe and in what manner of use? Well, it's funny because the way they're administering it is probably not the way most people would use it themselves. So again, it's hard to compare the pure THC experiments with the real world experimental smoking marijuana effects. You know, it's hard to take one and compare it to the other. Like, if he found that, you know, certain doses of THC did create like super violence or something in a person, like, I still don't think you'd be able to ingest that much solely by smoking the marijuana. Like, I think obviously concentrating the one chemical into a vial might create certain effects in people, but having just the generalized smoke, I don't know.
The analogy is often made that it's no more dangerous than alcohol, but that's damning with rather faint praise, because anyone familiar with the use of alcohol knows that this can be an extraordinarily dangerous drug.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair argument, but again, like, alcohol's dangerous, but it's legal. So, you know, like, it's I don't know, I feel like that's a fair argument both ways, honestly.
Come on, let's go now.
At regular intervals, as his intoxication increased, lab tech...
Dude, he's an hour and 40 minutes in, and his intoxication is still increasing? Like, man, I gotta try one of those shots.
Technicians took blood samples to measure the amount of the drug in Bill Muller's system and what it does to the blood itself.
What it does to the blood itself. I hope we get to that point. What does THC, like, actually do? What is the biochemical reaction or chain of reactions taking place that is affecting him? Like, I would very much appreciate that explanation. I don't know if we're gonna get it. I mean, I guess this is the chemistry of marijuana, so maybe they will explain it to us.
Yes.
Oh, I don't want to watch this part. Ugh. Gross.
So you're having a good time.
Yeah. Tremendous. Tremendous.
Is it similar to anything?
Super. I don't know.
Oh my god, we don't need to watch this. Ugh. Ugh.
Can't think of any similarities, Fantastic, though.
Are you
What's so
hallucinating?
fantastic about it? Everything just gets, popping around. Everything's just moving. Constantly moving. Just like,
Dude, I feel that though, like, oh man, it just feels so nice. Like, he's trying to describe it and he can't. And I'm so glad that I actually understand his state of mind a little, so that I know that there's no way for him to perfectly describe what he's feeling. So the way that he does describe what he's feeling is just more revealing as to like what's going on inside. It's so funny. It's so funny hearing how he talks and everything.
going down to a light show or something. Everything's just bouncing around.
Everything's bouncing around. Yeah, he might have taken like a lot. If he's seeing a light show and things are bouncing around, like he might be feeling more than I have ever felt.
Well, Bill, it's been about 2 hours since you got the drug. How do you feel?
Again, I do feel though that there is like some placebo effect taking place. Like I don't know, like he's not, this isn't a blind study, right? They are telling him that he's taking a drug and they're telling him that it's going to affect his state of mind. So I don't know. I feel like there's some placebo work happening here as well.
Oh, it's hard to explain, you know, because there's nothing like it in the real world. You know.
That's very fair. It's hard to explain because there's nothing like it in the real world. Yeah, like it kind of feels like getting heat stroke. Like maybe that's the closest thing, but not really.
I mean, this is completely different. You know, so I really can't compare it to anything.
I wonder if he has drank alcohol. Like, because if you can't compare it to anything, like I feel like it's comparable to drinking alcohol, but it is also very different in the same way. So I guess I get what he's saying.
It's not like anything you've experienced before?
But yeah, what I want to know, based on what that scientist just asked, have you like drank a lot of alcohol before? Because like that's the only thing that I can imagine he could compare it to.
Oh, never in this amount. You know.
Never in this amount. That's very fair. Yeah, never before has this guy got his hands on a vial of pure THC. Same, brother, same. Never before. Never before have I felt like that.
Is it similar but greater than the effects you got from marijuana?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You look sort of bemused, as if you're smiling and happy.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
And a little bit, your eyes seem red to me. Can we take off your glasses?
Okay.
And
Dude, look at his eyes. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, when... yeah, I'm gonna... Dude, open your eyes, man. That's what my friends used to say whenever anyone's eyes were suspiciously closed. Dude, open your eyes. And it's happening to him, too. Dude, open your eyes.
These eyes.
Oh, God, I
And
can't...
a little bit
eyes, though.
bloodshot. Almost as if you've been drinking a bit too much. But this does not feel the same as alcoholic intoxication.
No.
Okay, good. That's exactly what I was wondering. Does he have the experience of alcoholic intoxication to compare it to THC intoxication? So he has, and he says it feels different, which is very true. But of all the sensations I've ever felt in my life, those are like the most comparable to each other.
With alcohol, you know, you have an initial build-up phase, and then it kind of tapers off, and you get kind of sick. And maybe it just prolongs that. You did it on the other arm last time.
Doesn't really make much difference.
Oh,
You're going to assume that the blood's going with equal force in both.
That's so funny that his thoughts were interrupted because the doctor was going to a different arm. Like, again, he is definitely still feeling the effects of that cocktail.
Don't be too sure about that.
Do you have any doubts about that issue?
Well, I think, you know, if I didn't want it to, you know, it wouldn't.
Bill, I wonder if you could fill out this subjective effects list, just as you did before.
Yeah.
And here you are. And tell me if you feel more alert than you do sleepy, or if you feel the way you did before you had the drug.
In continued psychological testing,
Man, this would totally kill my buzz, though, making me fill out all these forms. Like, I saw it in his face a little, like, God, this is not what I want to be doing right now. Like, take this guy, like, on a walk to a park or, like, to a nature preserve or something, and then get him to fill this out. Because, like, this is just, like, the worst way to spend your 3 shots of THC.
his background as a student of mathematical psychology influenced his answers.
Student of mathematical psychology. Yeah, so he is just like a grad student having a wild experimental phase.
Last 2 times I put it there. And, okay, I feel the same.
about the same.
Yeah, about
A little bit
Yeah,
fuller.
a little
I can't get over her hair. That's still like this hairdo. What's this hairstyle called? Can anyone tell me? Because like, yeah, I have not seen this hair in like 60 years. This is just it's such a style. It's such a iconic look too. What is the name of this hairstyle? Can anyone in the comments tell me? Is it the Marge Simpson? That's what I'm calling it.
little bit, more to the extremes, but the mean is, right the same spot. You
Now,
get
do you
that
think you-
bimodal distribution. You probably don't
I see. Do
understand
you
that.
think you
but
feel more
you're a
happy
mathematical
than you do sad?
psychologist. Oh, definitely, yes.
Okay. Do you think you feel very happy
Uh,
or only moderately so?
well, very happy,
All right.
Really, way elated, yes.
Very.
I don't know what they have on this paper, but it seems like they have the option for happy, and then below that they have the option for elated, which if you're familiar with the English language, elated is just like a form of happiness. It's like it's a way of describing how happy you are. I am elated to see you. So it's funny that they're throwing these two very similar terms at him back to back just to see how he's feeling, especially because he's like visibly elated, like you can just understand that he is feeling elation just by how he's interacting with it.
Related,
Yes,
huh?
that's right up there with happy. Shaky,
Yeah, he said it himself. It's right up there with happy. It's literally the same word pretty much.
shaky.
As opposed to steady. Do you feel more shaky than you do steady?
Let's see, I forget word. The last time I think I put it there.
Dude, the dramatic zoom in on his face, though, I appreciate that as well. Good for the photographer. I would have been laughing my ass off if I were the photographer on this shoot. Like, I would not have been able to hold it together. Just seeing him act like this.
So I'm a
Little
little
bit
more
more.
shaky. Yeah, a little bit more, But sociable, oh, definitely, yes. Very, very sociable. Anxious, no.
You feel more relaxed.
It's not one or the other. I mean, those two aren't necessarily at the extremes of a continuum,
Wow, that's facts. This guy's dropping straight facts now. He's saying that anxiety and sociability aren't at the opposite ends of a spectrum for him, which is interesting because I feel like they are, but I feel like that's with my modern conception of anxiety rather than his idea of what anxiety is. So that's interesting because I don't know, I disagree with him on that point.
You feel more relaxed.
It's not one or the other. I mean, those two aren't necessarily at the extremes of a continuum, I mean, you can feel anxious and the opposite of feeling anxious.
This guy is stoned though. I know I keep saying it, but it's like, yeah, certainly. Just, I thought this would be like a lot of placebo. Either it's a very strong placebo effect and he's a great actor, or he is actually experiencing the effects of THC.
Would be,
Not relaxed.
it's not actually relaxing. It's kind of relaxing, but with the possibility of concentrating,
That's so funny because what he's describing now is like the difference between sativa and indica, right? One, indica is like relaxing, makes you chill, makes you sit down, and sativa is more of the stimulating creativity sort of one. So he's sort of like, he's picking up on it. He's splitting the hairs of the different strands. He's saying, no, this strand is not making me feel relaxed, even though I am relaxed because I'm consuming THC, it's making me feel more creative. So he's identifying this strain as a sativa rather than an indica, which is, again, so funny. So funny that it's like it's happening inside his mind without the knowledge that he's doing that even, that there are two different sorts of strains, one that makes you feel more relaxed, one that makes you feel more creative. Like, I don't think he's even aware of that, but he's hitting on that with his experience, which is so fascinating. Like, he is actually feeling the effects of one versus the other.
boom, like that, you've got it. You can
And based on what he's saying, I think they gave him a sativa.
control it. Like Zen masters can kind of do this kind of thing.
Zen masters can do this thing. Again, that's a very interesting statement. Like he definitely took a sativa because he's like, yes, I can concentrate, I'm relaxed, but I'm also focused. It's again, it's very hard to describe, but I get what he's saying. It's funny because I don't even think the doctors truly understand because they don't engage in it either. Like to truly understand, you have to be in his shoes as well. So I feel like I understand.
I don't know if you're familiar with that kind of stuff. Well,
He doesn't know if she's familiar. That's so funny.
maybe, I don't know. But, well, it's all kinds
Well,
of stuff
perhaps you can-
electroencephalograms and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Well, perhaps you can decide whether you feel more relaxed than you do.
It's though I to
Anxious.
impose these
It's funny. He doesn't feel relaxed, but he doesn't feel anxious. He feels like active. He totally took a sativa.
artificial labels. And
It's so funny that he like can't figure out the labels either. Like he is doing the stereotypical stoner, like don't define me or anything. Like he can't define his feelings because he is in such a state.
that's ridiculous. Labels, forget them, Just, they're all artificial,
They're all artificial. Wow. He's actually like, yeah, he's having those high, deep thoughts right now. Like he's saying like labels, man, like they're all nothing. They're all meaningless. There is no labels in real life. Like he is having an experience.
So this,
You feel that
I
you have
can't
better
label
words
my
for it.
feelings
Right.
either anxious
Right.
or relaxed. Those
That's
are
so interesting, though, that he is having such trouble labeling his feelings as relaxed or anxious. Like, he's not feeling really either of them at the same time. That's so interesting. I feel like that's something that you got to hit on. Like, so you're not feeling relaxed, but you're also not feeling anxious. Like, yes, like that's very interesting. I would be writing that down if I were the doctor. Write that down. He's not relaxed. He's not.
They're not
All
on
right. Well,
opposite
let's
ends of
leave
the
that
continuum.
one. Why don't we go on to the next one and tell me if you feel
I
cheerful?
could say we could say that if it's neither one or the other, then I could,
Okay, all
define
right, you
this
can
as
define
this
it as
feeling being a
right
zero.
in the middle. Fine.
Okay,
All
all right. We'll define it that way.
Okay.
All right. Gotta get those postulates down, man.
We found out that the drug makes people happy, it makes them intoxicated, and finally makes them sleepy.
Okay, so did you hear the findings? We find that the drugs makes people happy, then it makes them intoxicated, then it makes them sleepy. Pretty much the same exact road as alcohol in a different way. Again, alcohol and THC are different, but again, like if that's the takeaway from this whole experiment is, yeah, it made him happy and then he got tired. Like that's true, very true. But again, like that's what everyone arguing for marijuana has been saying this entire time. Like all it does is improve your mood briefly and then you get tired. Like it's not alcohol where you have like energy afterwards. Like I guess I should also specify that I have drank alcohol before, and alcohol is energetic, whereas weed is not. Like there's an energy that comes with being drunk that does not exist when you are stoned. Is this going to be demonetized, or am I getting away with all this? I feel like what I'm saying is fine, but I worry that this is going to be demonetized.
Which is about what marijuana users were telling us happened all the time. We found that it is a mild respiratory stimulant.
A mild respiratory stimulant. So I guess he was breathing a little faster because he had ingested the THC, which I guess, yeah, it's a little bit of a stimulant. It doesn't feel like a stimulant. I know that technically THC is a stimulant, but let me tell you, that does not quite stimulate me.
Which could possibly be a use for it if this property can be disassociated from its other effects.
Interesting. So he's saying that like if we can figure out the stimulation part of the drug, that maybe we could use that for other stuff. That's very interesting. That like he's got that biochemistry mindset where he's like, listen, this chemical is detached from its original natural source. Now that we know it has this quality of stimulation can we follow that further, and can we avoid the intoxication and only go for stimulation? It's a very interesting, I don't know, early biochemistry lens to have on this experiment.
It lowers blood pressure, which again offers a possible therapeutic use.
Lowers blood pressure as well. That's funny too. I have high blood pressure, so maybe I should look into this even more.
It stimulates appetite.
Stimulates appetite. That's so funny that like they know. This is the stereotypical stoner list right here of like what stoners do, how they behave, like stimulates appetite. Yeah, that's for sure.
And we know that this is not at the moment due to a change in blood sugar, but we don't have an explanation for.
Interesting. It's interesting that they're even curious about that. So they took that guy's blood and they probably measured the blood sugar to see if his munchies were a result of his blood sugar lowering, but he said that that wasn't the case. So the munchies are a result of something besides your blood sugar lowering. That's something that I wouldn't think about asking, but is nonetheless valuable information probably for this guy's purpose.
This effect. We know that it impairs performance. This latter is evident in the psychometric tests that we do, where there is a falling off of performance, either in the number of tasks that are completed or in the accuracy of them.
In the performance test, Bill Muller was able to maintain accuracy, but at the price of completing fewer problems.
That's funny. So yeah, that is like the classic exchange that you make. Like he can either do the problems correctly, but it'll take him more time, or he could do them all faster in the same amount of time, but he'd get some wrong if that were the case, which is just, again, funny. Like being on THC, you can still do everything your mind is capable of. It just will take longer. So it's funny that they are identifying that like perfectly through this test.
His concept of time had been impaired.
I wouldn't say that your concept of time is impaired. I would just say that your ability to function is impaired more, and it just takes longer.
The respiration test disclosed for the first time that the drug in marijuana acts to stimulate breathing.
Wow, hang on. So this is like the discovery that tells us that THC is a stimulant. Is that what they just said? I think that's what they just learned for the first time, that THC is a stimulant. That's actually like a substantial finding for something like this. Like this is true science taking place, I guess is what I'm saying. Like they did discover an aspect of this drug that I guess wasn't known before that it was a stimulant more than anything. Though again, I don't really know if you needed this whole machine to figure that out. I'm pretty sure a stethoscope could have done just fine. And even then, like, honestly, you can take somebody's pulse without a stethoscope. So if you really needed to know if it elevates your heart rate or not, like, you can just do that by hand.
But the tests of muscle strength indicated a measurable weakening effect.
Relax slowly.
The subject may feel stronger, but in fact he is weaker.
That's so funny. This is like, I would never have even thought about doing something like this. But I guess it makes you feel stronger, but literally weaker. That's interesting. I have never encountered that sort of issue in my head, but that's interesting.
Good.
Electrocardiograph measurements showed no significant change in heartbeat.
Oh, interesting. So he had a change in his breathing rate, but not in his heart rate. That is interesting, because I guess that ruins my theory a little bit ago of just pay attention to the heartbeat and you'll know if it is a stimulant or not. But I guess that's very interesting. So their heart isn't beating any faster, but they're breathing faster? That's interesting.
But the drug in marijuana does lower blood pressure, which could suggest potential therapeutic use.
Again, so it suggests potential therapeutic use. It's interesting to see, even back then, they were looking for uses for this drug, for medical applications for marijuana. That's very interesting. I'm very surprised that they're already thinking about this drug, not only for recreation or as, some sort of evil, but they already recognize its value as a drug. Or as medicine, I should say, not as a drug, but as true medicine.
Sophisticated measurement of effects on blood itself is only starting. So far, there have been no conclusive findings on retention.
Wow, hang on. I love doing this and I hate doing this, but this is just your classic Asian American in a highly sophisticated laboratory in America. And we got to appreciate that, right? Like there is some form of diversity in this workplace where this is not a DEI hire or anything. This is just the beautiful American melting pot that there is just like an Asian guy in this, I don't know, advanced laboratory. Like, I don't know. I like that. I enjoy seeing evidence of there being diversity within our society from very long ago like this. That's always impressive that like people did get along. People weren't so racist as we assumed they were. Like Asian guys could work in laboratories like this. I don't know if that's making me look racist or them look racist, but I'm surprised, pleasantly surprised by seeing that.
So far, there have been no conclusive findings on retention of the drug.
Oh yeah, look, and there's what looks like a black guy back here. So that's, again, very interesting that in this scientific environment, in a place where I would imagine you would need a very long and successful academic career. Like you need to go to college, you need to go to grad school, you need to maybe even become a doctor, or maybe these people are in the process of becoming doctors now. To be in this position, to be in this laboratory, you need to be climbing the ladder of academia pretty much. So it's interesting, again, to see a black dude back here, like somehow even he has managed to climb academia, even in what we imagine are like the most racist times ever. I mean, it's the 60s, right? It is like the peak of the civil rights movement right now in this time. So it's interesting. It's interesting that you do just see a black guy just in the background. Like he's not the main character or anything. He's just like, he is a functioning cog in the machine that is this laboratory, which is, again, just reveals the diversity that has always existed within the American workplace pretty much. And it's always cool to see examples of that.
Drug, development of tolerance levels, or their relationship to psychological addiction. At this point, no one knows for sure what continued use of marijuana does to the people who use it, except to get very high and very thirsty, but with no hangover.
That's so funny. Yeah, you get very high, very thirsty, no hangover. That's funny. That's funny how they would even bother saying, like, yeah, no hangover. Like, you would think that they would want to not encourage people to do it, but no, they're out and saying it. Yep, no hangover. It makes you feel high, and there's no hangover.
This is Bill Mahler at the peak of intoxication.
Bill Mahler, can we find this guy? Oh, he's probably not still alive. Well, hang on. He's 20. I'm going to assume he's like 25. It's 66. 60 years. He could be like 80 or 90. He's probably the same age as that Nomad boy that we watched the other day. He could still be around. Oh man, I would love if anyone in the comments can figure out this guy. If anyone's related to him, can we contact him? Can we ask him if he still partakes in drugs like this? Like, where did this guy go? What was his opinion on this experiment? I'm so curious. Bill Maurer. Can any of you guys find Bill Maurer? He's going to be like 90 something by now. I wonder if he remembers this. Like, does he even like remember it, or did his mind like completely blank it out because he was so affected by THC?
Later, he said the experience was both pleasurable and exciting. But after the euphoria had worn off, he also recalled an intense feeling of detachment.
I felt like I was, like I knew what was going on. And most of it seemed...
I also want to comment that I am wearing the same outfit as him again. Like, this is another, we're wearing the same thing. Like, wearing a white t-shirt will get you so many matching outfits in this era. I feel like we're sort of the same. Like, he's a guinea pig of drugs, and I'm a guinea pig of all these old programs. Like, I am being blasted with stuff the same way he is, in a way. And I am as happy-go-lucky as he is, I think. Or at least I strive to be as happy-go-lucky as he is.
I was seeing it, and yet I was not really there. I was kind of removed from it and viewing myself and the people around me from an outside position.
That's so facts as well. That is what people experience sometimes. I've never quite experienced that, but I've had people tell me that that is an experience that they have. And like, that's so interesting that he's hitting on it. Like, he is hitting on pretty much every single well-known effect of marijuana, of THC right here. Like, he is cognizant of it. Like, he is aware of his change in mind, and he's able to communicate it, which is really incredible, to be honest.
And from that position, what was going on seemed somehow kind of ridiculous, you know.
Yeah. Being detached, I guess I have felt that once or twice. I don't know. I definitely understand his struggle in communicating how it even feels, because I'm struggling to communicate how I feel currently, and I'm not even on THC.
But at the time, what seemed ridiculous to Bill also felt sublime.
Beautiful, man, it's beautiful. But I can't show it to you, because I'm not that kind of a person,
That's so funny too, that he's feeling this like built up amount of like feelings, and he can't express them because he's not that kind of person. He just said that's so funny that marijuana helps you kind of embrace parts of things that you don't really recognize in yourself. That's just that's so interesting too, that he is struggling with the way that he communicates and is being aided but also hampered by his intoxication with THC. That's interesting. Again, this has been a very interesting watch.
So I'm a real extrovert,
That's so funny. He used the term extrovert. I really thought those terms were invented like 10 years ago. I did not think extrovert or introvert were like common terms in this era. That's so interesting that they're using the term extrovert like that. I did not expect that to be the case, but I guess it is.
It's from the TV camera,
The TV camera, that's funny too, that like he thinks he's just on TV or something. I guess he might have been on TV. I don't really understand what context this would have been shown in. Would this have been viewed in like a college lecture hall, or I don't know. I can't imagine who would actually be watching this. Maybe like a medical sort of college. I don't know.
Well, I don't like a 60, baby.
This guy is like out of his mind though. You can still tell.
What a goddamn nurse.
Where's the goddamn nurse? This is too funny.
Did you get that?
That's so funny too. Yeah, he's totally feeling it. He laughed at realizing that the camera heard him say, "Where's that goddamn nurse?" And now he's just like, he's having the time of his life. This is really funny, man.
None of us know very much about this drug in any verifiable way. And I think that the studies that are beginning to open up now that interest has been aroused in the drug and
now that interest has been aroused in the drug, again, like, I'm so interested as to why interest in the drug has been aroused. Is it because of World War II and all these veterans needing to use it, or is it because there are more black people interacting with more white people? And I don't know. That's a guess. That feels like what somebody at the CIA would tell me in this time period, is because it's, the mixing of the people. But I don't know if I believe that. But I'm curious as to what these people believe is the reason.
Pure material is available. Will do a lot to settle the dispute as to how to...
This guy is so stoned. I know I've said that a whole bunch of times, but like just seeing like every like glance he gives towards the camera is just hilarious too.
Safe or how dangerous the drug may be.
See, that is weird though, that they're saying, yeah, we don't know how safe or how dangerous it is, but like clearly it was safe. He didn't do anything even remotely dangerous. Like alcohol is definitely the more dangerous of the two drugs compared to THC. So it's weird how they're still refusing to admit that it's safe. Like I feel like there is a bit of this distancing from it where they don't actually want to be seen as having a positive opinion of it. They want a very, I guess, unbiased look, but based on what I saw, it seemed safe. I don't know. Obviously, I wouldn't have that guy like driving a garbage truck or anything, but it seems safe to do in your own house, Okay. Oh, okay, and that was it. That was the conclusion. I guess we got a good close-up of the guy's high face, and now we're just straight to the credits. All right, let's do the credits, though. Produced by Tony Potter, correspondent Tom Petit, film editor Harris Cohen. Interesting. Associate producer Susan Friedman, sound by Roger Andrews. I don't even know what sound there was. I guess the dialogue. Cinematographer Dick Smith. So is that the guy who was holding the camera the whole time, or is there another cameraman? It's hard for me to believe that this had a cinematographer, right? Like somebody was just setting up all those shots. Like that seems like a bit much for this shoot. So I can only imagine that if he was also the guy like holding the camera. A production of KCET Los Angeles. All right, I've never really heard this before. KCET, is that like a radio station? Yeah, okay, that's it. So that was The Chemistry of Marijuana. Honestly, I don't know if I quite learned the chemistry of marijuana. This would be better titled like the physical effects of marijuana. I feel like I definitely saw the effects of marijuana on a person a lot more than I actually learned about the chemistry of marijuana. I was sort of looking forward to like a diagram or like a animation of like a THC molecule in your brain, like what it actually does. Like that's kind of what I wanted to learn from this more than what a stoned person behaves like. But either way, I guess it was an interesting watch. I definitely had a fun time watching this. I just don't know if it quite lived up to the expectation that its name created in me. But I guess that's my fault, not the fault of this at all. But I feel like more than anything, this helped establish the stereotypical collection of symptoms that we associate with marijuana, right? Like every single thing they said, it made me hungry, made me sleepy, made me happy, then, everything else as well. Like this is the classic, the prototypal marijuana stoner experience right here. Like if you've never taken the drug, but you need to like write a character or pretend like you were on it, this is going to communicate that information to you pretty much as well as anyone else ever could. Like honestly, you will probably learn more from this than hanging out with a person who was stoned. Like this guy was more stoned than probably anyone you'll find nowadays. So I don't know, this is definitely a good summation of that aspect of marijuana, I guess, or of THC, is how a person was actually affected by it. And more than that, how we studied how people were affected by it. That's, I guess, the more interesting part, is that we were studying this at the same time this guy was having a whole trip of his own. Overall, very fun, very enjoyable to watch. I don't know what the thumbnail's going to be. I was really hoping there would be like a weed leaf that I could make the thumbnail of this, but I don't know what I'll make the thumbnail. But I guess that's my problem, not your problem. I'm very curious about this purified THC. I don't know if I can get my hands on any of that, but overall, very, very enjoyable watch. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the thumbnail's going to be. Dang. All right, I got to stop looking for it. Closing thoughts. Any more closing thoughts? I think if you've never experienced THC, if you've never even heard of it or something, this is definitely a good introduction into understanding its effects on people. Again, it didn't really go into how the biochemistry of it all works. I guess it did a little. I guess they were just figuring that out for the first time ever, so they didn't probably even understand the full biochemistry of it until much after this. So I guess I understand why we couldn't dive as deep as I wanted to dive. Like they literally just figured out how to make pure THC a year before filming this. So I guess, yeah, now that I think about it, it makes a lot more sense that they didn't actually know the information that I was curious about. So I don't blame them for that. I think this was as good as we ever could have gotten for the year it was made. I think we were lucky that this came out after they had figured out the pure THC, so that we got to see this experiment unfold. Yeah, I think this was a very good program that succeeded at illustrating exactly what it was trying to. And not only did it succeed at illustrating something, but it also succeeded at learning something and actually adding to human knowledge. Like this was an experiment that took place and actually added to our sum total of knowledge. So we didn't just watch a guy get high, we watched us coming to understand what that even means. What the term getting high connotates is determined partially or defined by what this guy experienced. So interesting all around, really. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you did and you would like to help support what I do here, you can follow the link in the description that'll take you over to the Internet Archive. The Internet Archive is where I get all these old programs from. So if you want to support what I do here, donate to them. And with that, I think we're ready to cut to black.